Bobby, how'd you escape North Korea?
Joe, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. It all started when my agent called me about an offer to do a comedy show there. It turns out I'm actually quite popular in the country due to being a famous comedian of Korean descent. I thought the idea was freaking crazy at first, but they were offering me some serious cash and gave me assurances about my safety. Well, I stupidly decided to go, and it was crazier than you can imagine. First of all, I was given an official tour guide who followed me around at all times, making sure I didn't record anything. My second night there was the night of my comedy show, and that's when things started to get real wild. It turns out my agent didn't tell me that the crowd for the show wouldn't be any normal crowd. Instead, I was to perform in front of a group of high-ranking government officials, men who worked directly under Kim Jong-un. A few minutes before the show, they gave me a list of approved topics for me to talk about, which included food, the weather, pets, and other boring stuff. I was completely blindsided. The first few minutes of the show were freaking awful. There was no way I could make it funny. The officials were just staring at me with blank looks on their faces. So I decided to take a chance and make some joke about Kim Jong-un's hair looking like a popular Korean noodle dish. Surprisingly enough, the theater erupted in laughter. This gave me some confidence, so I ramped it up a notch. I said to the crowd, "My family's been asking how's North Korea." I told them I can't complain. You know, just making a joke about their government censorship. Well, the officials' faces immediately got super serious after that, and they didn't laugh at another joke for the last 5 minutes of the show. When the show was over and I went backstage, two officials immediately approached me. They told me my trip to North Korea was being extended because I needed further cultural education about the country. It was at that moment that I realized I might never make it out of there. Instead of bringing me back to my hotel room, the officials brought me to some dingy basement of an office building. They then strapped me into an old wooden chair that was right in front of the TV. I spent the next 2 weeks being forced to watch endless loops of videos about North Korea. And these weren't just informational documentaries. I was being forced to watch shows like Cooking with the Supreme Leader, North Korean Idol, and Supreme Leader's Funniest Home Videos. After 15 long days of this and passing a 200-question exam, the officials finally let me out of the chair and brought me to the airport. It turns out the US government realized I was gone for longer than I should have been and started to negotiate for my release. Allegedly, they sent Kim Jong-un a cargo ship full of pink starbursts, his favorite American snack, and promised him another visit from Dennis Rodman in exchange for my freedom. I was never more grateful to be home. But I still have nightmares to this day about being forced to watch Kim Jong-un's 5 favorite ways to season eggs, or seeing him score his 100th point in a rigged basketball game for the millionth time.